we made it, my love. Oh, honey, look how we made it this far. Hasn't the pace been alarming, honey? Take a look at where we are.
Right, welcome back to the PBS Brakes YouTube channel. Today we're with Jenson Brickley, Mr. TCR European Champion. Are you getting used to that yet or not?
A little bit. I think it's about sunk in now.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, we had a good year last year, and yeah, can't wait for what's to come this year.
So you're going to teach me a few tricks today.
Yeah.
So we're going to, Jenson's going to give me a bit of tuition. I'm going to have a go in this car. We're to do brake pad testing really, to show you guys thanks aeroplane, which compound is suitable for which application in our ProComp range. So we'll get through all them today. We've got E1, E2, which are endurance, and S1, S2, which are our sprints for sort of TCR, GT, that sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully the rain stays off and then we can have a good day. So cheers for giving us a lift.
Yeah, it's all right.
Excited to have a go.
Typical UK weather.
Yeah, always the same, isn't it? This is my weapon for today. I'll be having a go at some point as well. Just see how much slower the fat old man is compared to the professional racing driver.
Oh, honey, look how we made it this far. Hasn't the pace been alarming, honey? Take a look at where we are.
Right, so track's open now. So we fitted the E1 pads and the ProComp bars in the rear. So Jenson's going to jump in now. Track's a little bit damp, we'll see how we get on, and then get some feedback, bed them in, come back, and then see if we get the first test session underway, and then through the day, put the next set in and compare the different compounds we go. So we're going out now at E1, so when you come back, just give you feedback, see what you think, and then the way we've staggered them, it should progressively get more and more bite and more friction through the day as the levels of pad come through. So we'll give that a go, see how the car goes, and come back in a bit.
Haven't we made it, my love? Oh, honey, look how we made it this far. Hasn't the pace been alarming, honey? Take a look at where we are. Isn't the day so exciting? Oh, honey, when I wake up, I'm feeling brand new.
Okay, so we're going to go out, get some nice temperature into the brakes, bed them in nicely. Got to go through the bedding process first. It's a little bit damp, as you can see. Got some slight precipitation. So we're going to find some space. For the first lap, 30% brake pressure all the way through. Bending the pads in nicely, soft at first, then we build up the pressure as we go along.
Right, so Jenson's just come in now. He's done a good few installation laps, been a couple of red flags, but then he's got a decent bit of running then. So far so good, pedal feels okay, the brake pads are performing alright?
Yeah, like so obviously at the start it was quite wet and then it was drying as it went on. The pedal felt good. 3 laps of the bedding. Initially the pedal was rock solid and not much stopping power, but obviously once the bedding procedure was done, brake pedal felt good, stopping power was really good. Tweaked the bias a little bit for obviously the wet, and after that pedal was good, stopping power felt great and modulation was good also.
So that's our lower end friction pad as well, so potentially we'll find out more once we put that as E1 that we had in the car then. When we put E2 in we'll should see the difference, but maybe a good fit for slippy or tricky conditions then with it being a little bit less friction, but still you found it had way enough friction to deal with that with this kind of car and them conditions.
Yeah, exactly. The stopping power was good. Obviously, like you say, we've not got a reference as of yet for a higher friction.
But they weren't lacking.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't lacking. So for wet conditions, especially, I think that would be a good pad.
That's good to know because I use that compound in my Mark 7 Golf because it has servo assist. But obviously, it can, depending on the master cylinder setup in your pedal box car as well, you couldn't get to that same setup. Well, that is working in both, which is good to know. They're just fitting the E2s at the minute, and then we'll get back out and have a little bit more of a comparison to from one compound to the next. So we'll get them in and get him back out again. Right, that's the E2s fitted. Jenson's going to go out now, bed them in, and then come back and give us some feedback. Jenson's back from his second run with the E2 pads in. We got a good run then, a bit like a red flags compared to the first one. So how do you find them?
Yeah, they were good. Obviously it was a little bit better to have a dry circuit then, and a proper test. So I think overall, a little bit down on initial bite, but I think for an endurance sort of pad, that's to be expected, and I think that's probably what gives it the longevity.
That's like to be expected. So initial bite, not as harsh as the E1, but then as you got into it more, would you say more friction in there at higher pressure? Or and
I think the modulation was good. And like I said to you as well, that the pedal stayed the same throughout. So obviously, on a long endurance race, that would sort of be the pad that you go for.
But also, if you wanted to do sprint as well, it wasn't not hindering you anywhere.
No.
Did you have to change the balance much on the bias or anything? No, similar to the one.
Yeah, similar to the other.
Right, so that's good to see. I expected, but that one should last. The duration in that E2 compound should be a lot longer. So the lack of initial bite, it's probably telling of the kind of compound it is. So
and I think that's good for an endurance pad because. Like we spoke about before, a lot of endurance pads, there's no feel to the pedal.
No, it's just like a block of wood, isn't it? But you have still got a decent modulation with that.
Yeah, good modulation.
Right, good, right, cool. So that's that one done. Next we're on to our S1, which a lot of people use and you probably know. So that's a good, cost-effective all-rounder. So we'll put that in and after dinner and see how we get on with that one. So I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, I think I prefer the S2 over the S1.
Personal feel?
Personal preference, I think the S2 was the better endurance pad.
E2?
E2, E2.
Not S2.
Not S.
It's always the twos, you like the S2 in Barcelona, don't you? We'll see if you like the S1 in a minute.
You're struggling with them boxes, aren't you?
Yeah. It's got a flap inside.
Yeah, you've got to put the one in with the flap down first. He's teaching how to pack his own products, don't he?
It's the flap I need a bit of a lift with.
The flap.
Right, Jenson's just gone to get ready. We're going to go out now on the first of our sprint compounds, that's S1, and then he'll come back, report back and see how we get on with that one. just been on his third session with the first sprint compound, the S1. So how did you find that?
Yeah, good. Compared to the endurance pad, it's got a bit more bite initially,
Yep.
But the
Which is what
modulation.
you want for sprint.
Yeah, exactly. So for a sprint race, that's perfect, and the modulation was still good. So yeah, pretty similar to the
Consistent
endurance.
feel through the session.
Always consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
No brake fade, no nothing. So.
Right.
Good.
So, would you want more friction than that, or would that be happy with stuff you've raced in before?
I think,
or will you not tell until we try us
yeah,
to see which one's
That's
better?
what I was going to say. So I can't wait to try the second set of sprint pads and see sort of the back-to-back comparison.
Yeah, see if that's
more
too much, or you can use it, or
Exactly.
obviously depending on car day as well.
Yeah.
But what we've got two for is, depending on day and thing, is like you know, got a high grip, good tyre situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, certain tracks, some people have got slick, some people haven't. We might be able to use between S1 and S2.
Yeah,
You've got
difference
something
between
that's going to
lower
fit.
grip track or a higher grip track.
Hopefully we've got both bases covered there. So
Yeah.
the lads are just fitting them now.
Yeah, and
We'll give them a try and find out.
the brake pedal felt consistent again as well.
Yeah.
So didn't change from the endurance pad to the sprint pad.
Position, like you weren't getting longer, different.
Yeah. So the travel was the same on the endurance pad and the sprint pad.
That's good. So it's consistent through the thing. That's
Consistency,
good.
yeah.
So it doesn't, even though it's different, it feels different on bike. It's not feeling different as you use
as a
it.
feel, yeah. Which is good because obviously if you do a sprint race one weekend and then you want to use the same car in an endurance race, you know the pedal's going to be consistent.
Yeah, not messing about changing mass zones and things
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah.
that. Right, good stuff. Right, we'll see how this goes and report back soon. Right, so we've just done the final session with the second of the sprint compounds, the ProComp S2. How do you find that one?
Yeah, good. Overall, that was my favourite pad, for sure. The bite was slightly higher, which obviously in turn meant the stopping power was better.
Yeah.
It's not a massive difference.
No,
But for me...
That's good though, because that was what we developed for TCR. So, you know, I'm glad that out of all those options through from endurance to that was the one that worked the best in this thing, and you like the best. So that's done its job. So you can see that all of them do the job.
Yeah.
But like I said, they are working for the environment, the endurance, and the sprint. So would you say that if you had a little bit less grip or a slippy day, like S1 would be a good option?
Yeah, I think those S2 pads there are definitely for a high grip, new tyre, best case scenario lap. And that would be the best to get the lap time out of the car. But let's say in a lower grip track or on a worse tyre, personally I'd probably choose the S1.
Yeah, so if I was to sort of run a TCR car in Club Enduro where we had to use an AL52, you'd probably go S1.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit too much for that tyre.
Yeah, I think probably for the tyre, but on a slick, a brand new slick, everything perfect, the day nice, and track perfect, I'd be on an S2.
Right, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Where can people find your stuff if you want to check out your stuff on socials and things like that?
Yeah, so...
You're available for driver coaching?
Yeah, driver coaching available, just let me know. Drop me a message and I'll let you know if I'm available. Other than that, Instagram at Jenson Brickley Racing, and also YouTube, Jenson Brickley, subscribe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Cheers for that, mate.
Thank you. Cheers for the day.
Cheers, thank you. See you later, guys.